Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Diasporic Nigerian. If this is your first time here, this is a multimedia platform that's dedicated to highlighting Nigerian professionals in Canada. And this is our NPIC series. So today we're with no other person other than Zoba Udeh Martin, who is the founder of Zoba Martin, a clothing brand that embodies elegance and character. And she started this in the spring of 2016. She creates a broad range of designs at Zoba Martin, including semi-formal and luxury pieces, and her designs are inspired by architecture, nature, and people. She's originally from Eastern Nigeria, but her journey to Zoba Martin has led her to several Canadian cities. She started out with a degree in entrepreneurship at the University of Ottawa, and then completed a diploma in fashion design and pattern making at LaSalle College of Design in Toronto. She currently lives in Toronto and hand makes all her pieces in her private studio. Welcome. Wow.
Okay, I'm like, oh, that's what you're talking about.
No, look at your bio. I'm here for it. I'm here for it.
Okay. Thanks.
Anyway, how are you doing?
I'm well. Nice to see your face after so long. But yeah, I'm doing well. I'm doing very well. Thanks for asking.
All right. Well, thank you for taking time out to join us on the Diasporic Nigerian today. So we're just going to get right into the question.
Okay.
So where's the last place you traveled to before COVID started?
Lagos.
I mean, we love Lagos.
I was in Lagos, Nigeria, January 2020, and then I came back to Canada end of January, and then literally like a month and a half later, the pandemic started. So, but I was there for about a month and a half, so I feel like I got like Nigeria into my system. I didn't know, if I had known this was going to happen, I would have just like kind of like stayed for a few more.
Really?
Yeah.
I saw your photos though. It seemed like you were enjoying Lagos a lot. You were just.
Every time I go to Nigeria, it's always a good time. Like there's like fresh fruit, my family, my friends. Like it's just the weather, fabric. Oh, I'm bad. Like there's always somewhere to go.
Honestly. So where's the next place you think you're gonna travel to after all this is done?
After all of this is done, I need to go to Chile because I had a Chilean friend and he told me so much about Chile. And I'm just like, I'm sold. I was gonna go to Costa Rica just to like just go be in that tropical region that is in Nigeria, because like for some reason any break I get default is to go to Nigeria because that's home, right? But now I'm just like, okay, let me try another tropical country for a few weeks before then I'll go to Nigeria, or like just split my time between. But yeah, I'm really thinking about Chile because I've heard so many good things about it. If that doesn't work, then somewhere else.
That's a good way to think about the tropical countries. I'm just like, I just want to go be on a beach. I just want to be on the beach and just go from there.
Like the quality of life in the summer in Canada is so good. Like I'm like, if I could have this all year round, I'm like, why do I have to have it like just for 2.5 months? Like why can't I have it for like the rest of the months, right?
Exactly.
Share your time.
All right. So let's go into you and your design work. So what sparked your interest in design and what has that journey looked like so far?
What sparked my interest? Okay, like how if you go to in high school in Nigeria, like you either choose like further math or fine arts, or you do like some artsy course versus a science course. Like it was very like black and white, and I would always like go to the art courses, right? And I would like sketch and like paint. That was just like I was just mostly drawn to like hands-on, I guess, forms of learning. And then I watched my aunt make her wedding dress from scratch. She didn't go to fashion school, nothing. She just like went to the market, got satin, fabric, and pearls, and she made a full ball gown. I know people were like laughing at her saying she was cheap by making her own wedding dress. But I was just like looking at her like, you're actually making a wedding dress in front of me. Like I was so she's late now, God rest her soul. But yeah, she made her wedding dress from scratch and it was so beautiful. And I just like my mom also went to fashion school, so like I had like little influences here and there, which I didn't really click on until like when I was done with university. I'm like, oh wait, I studied business in school. That means I'm gonna like have to find a job at a bank or like some corporate. But the thought of that was like so, it wasn't really a happy thought for me. So I said I'm just gonna like straight out of uni, just like find something in the arts to, try out. And I went to Nigeria. I went to fashion school for about a month, but the commute was draining. It was annoying. So I said, okay, this is really not going to work. So I just like found a school in Canada instead and went for 2.5 years. For 2 years, I think, yeah. And like school did not feel like school. It felt completely different from uni. Like I would always, my classes were supposed to be from 8 to 1, but I'll be in school from 8 to like 7 p.m. or whatever. So clearly this is something that I was drawn to. So I just kept on going. And then when I graduated from fashion school, like our final project was to, create a collection. And I created the collection. I'm like, okay, let me think of a name. I'm like asking my mom one name she reads. I'm like, first of all, I have to use my Igbo name, which is Chizoba and Zoba. And she's like, oh, do like Zoba Designs or like Zoba Acker. I'm like, no, I want to add my grandpa's name into it because my last name is Udeh Martin. I never met him and I heard so many good things about him. So I used the second part of my name, which is Zoba, just Zoba, and then like my last name is in 2 parts as well. So just the 2 parts, Zoba Martin. That was like how I introduced my collection and I started my brand. And yeah, I've just been going since then. Yeah.
I feel like you're so excited about it. It's really beautiful to see.
Oh, thanks. I work like 8 days a week, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it feels like that. Oh my gosh. So what was your first client experience like?
Okay, my first client experience was very, very random. It was someone I knew. She wanted a wedding dress. I'm like, can I make your wedding dress? Because I was working at Kindfield, which is basically like it's at the Hudson's Bay. They sell wedding dresses and they offer alteration services, right? So you can just like tailor it to fit you. So I was working in the alteration department and I would like see like obviously like the inside of the wedding dress. I'm like, people are like buying wedding dresses for 18 grand, 7 grand. Like you see like a flimsy spaghetti dress, not flimsy, but like just like a simple spaghetti dress, 5,500 for 8 plus HSC. And I'm like, I can make this. So I told her, hey, let me make your wedding dress because I see a lot of wedding dress and I want to get into the field. Like, I'll make your wedding dress and you don't even have to pay me. Let's just like go fabric shopping. And we did all of that. She was so excited and she paid for my vacation somewhere, but that's how she paid me back. But like making that was so
that's a good deal right there. That's a really good deal.
Like not so many people will let you make their wedding dress. Like you'll be like, no, don't touch me. But she was like very open to it. She's like, yeah. And obviously now when I look back at that wedding dress, I see things that I wouldn't have done, like things I would have done differently. But I really, really love and appreciate her for giving me the opportunity. And from there, the entire process of making the wedding dress was so interesting to me that I chose that path. Yeah.
Wow, that's beautiful. And I know that you've been featured in a couple fashion shows and you've done a couple other, media presentations and all of that. So can you tell us a little bit about those?
Okay, I miss fashion shows.
So I was like, I want to be on the runway. Like, what are you talking about? Okay.
That's like I miss fashion shows. Like seeing like maybe like 10 to like 15 girls like or like women or wearing like your dresses and it's just like it's just nice like just see anyway. That's not what you asked me. You asked me what the brands. That's not what you asked me. Nobody asked me that. Okay. The very first brand I worked with I think was African Fashion Week, and there was a competition which I didn't win, but it was a very, very good experience for me. And that was when I made my second collection. I've also worked with Startup Fashion Week. I did that. I think that was the last fashion show I did before the pandemic hit. And I've worked with a bunch of photographers in the city. I've worked with some stylists as well, and then the brand Shibi Lady. You know the
Yes.
Yeah. Like I worked with them as
I remember,
well. Yes.
and I remember studying your designs, and I remember it was my friend beside me, and I was just like, "This is Zoba Martin. Like I know your style so well," and I was just like, "This is Zoba Martin." And then I think the next day on Instagram you posted, and I said
like,
to my friend, that was beautiful to see. And I think you've created such a brand that's so distinct that people can recognize your designs. And I think that's what, I'm not a fashion designer, but I feel like that's that's a part of I've arrived, you know, when people can
Yeah.
spot your design,
Oh.
say this is Zoba Martin design, you know?
Thank you for saying that, because sometimes I don't be feeling like that, but you know, thanks for saying. And look at me, I just opened myself, but like, thanks for saying that. I appreciate.
For sure, for sure.
Yeah.
And what are some highlights and lowlights that you faced in this journey so far?
Highlights and lowlights. Just being. Which one should I talk about first? Tell me. Don't ask me. Don't tell me. You tell me. Okay. Highlights obviously like working with clients. You know, like if they choose you to create something for them, like the final product and seeing that work, that makes me feel fulfilled in a very in a way that money cannot buy. If that makes sense. And highlights. Hmm. Having people like recognize my brand, that's good. And yeah, just yeah, I can't really like put them in words. And I'm just like looking for my
That's
time. Like
okay.
they're there. But
That's
I think because my brain is like rushing to like the low lights, like why do humans do that? Like why does that happen?
I mean, you can talk about lowlights and then we'll come back to highlights.
Okay. Okay, yeah. No, like definitely COVID happening, you know, like I just thought it was going to be like a cute like 2 weeks, 3 weeks quarantine, and you know, I'll go back to working, right? And boy, then it's like a year and a few months. I'm like, okay, can you stop? I mean, I know there are a bunch of people out there that, you know, found other things and found like meaning out of the pandemic, and we all did. I did as well. And I appreciate, you know, the experience. I'm ready for events to start happening. I'm ready for, you know, like even like I have some brides I'm working with as well, and they're just like, you know, just seeing them like roller coaster of emotions. Like, oh, am I getting married this year or next year? Like that's kind of like seeing experiencing that with them is kind of like sad.
Yeah.
But now it's like Canada is opening back up finally, and things are, you know, like I think you can have up to like 120 guests at your wedding now, which is like whoa. And you
Yeah.
know what that means? That means more people are attending the wedding, more business for me, and yeah, I guess that's the highlight. Like, like things picking back up, right? It's like you have to like go so low to like appreciate. There's so many things that happen like in ways that favor you. You appreciate that because you experienced it.
Mhm.
Downtime, yeah.
So going back into highlights, you got so
Yeah.
excited when you were talking about, you know, people wearing your dresses on the runway.
Yeah.
Like, what is that process for you? Like, how, like, don't you feel like nerves when you're trying to, you know, like do big fashion shows? Like, how do you get your models? Like, what is that entire process like for you?
Um, I usually would just like decide on the color I want to work with,
Mhm.
and then get the fabrics, and then bring it home, and then place it on my mannequin, and then I decide on the design. I know some people like do it the other way, but like if I get most of my inspiration from like materials and fabrics, and you know, creating the collection, you have to make sure everything is cohesive with the colors. Like one color has to like bring in the other color. Obviously, that's like an entire process that sometimes I have like times where I'm like, yes, you did that. Other times I'm like, what did you just do? Just take this all out. Like like it's a bunch of like moments like up and down, and like you're super satisfied, and you're like, okay, like last night I was working on this dress and I realized that okay, I'm not really happy with this design and I'm going to redo it. But I really appreciate those moments because it's like after you put in so much work, and then like from the ugly sometimes you can birth a new design that you never really expected, and you have to like go through that to, you know, create a new design. So there's a lot of that going on when I design a collection. And with the models and like getting people to fit the dresses, usually the organizers of the fashion shows take care of that, so that usually makes my process a lot easier. And honestly, if you just put up an Instagram post saying you're looking for models, so many people will respond to like
Interesting.
that part is not as difficult. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, that's cool. So what's next for Zoba Martin?
Okay, right now I focus mostly on one-off pieces, custom made pieces, and that's like my way of, I guess, being sustainable, because I feel like if someone pays a lot of money for one outfit, they will like take care of that outfit. Like I had a girl that made her graduation dress, and she wore it for her graduation, for her friend's wedding, and for her bridal party. Like So like because it's yeah. So that's like you saved on 3 dresses, and that's like less materials going to waste than in general. Like when people spend so much money on a custom piece, they're more likely going to preserve it. So my next what's next for me is to find a way to like tie that sustainable factor to like ready to wear designs. Like sorry, I just got a call. Please go. Yeah. So I'm working on a way to like make ready to wear designs in an ethical way, like not to waste a lot of materials. Because honestly, like with fast fashion, you could buy a top for $25, and when people compare it to something that costs like $200, they're like, why would I pay 200 when I can pay 25?
Yeah.
But really, like the $25 dress or like shirt is like doing so much harm to the planet. And I'm not going to sit down here and act like I'm not like part of the problem. I also like buy like fast fashion sometimes, but I'm trying to like with my brand stop that from happening. Yeah.
Okay. So let's say I am a potential bride and I want to work with you, or I want you to design my dress. So how will that whole process start?
Hi, Mary. Congrats. Well, first of all, we're going to celebrate that you're engaged and all of that. Okay, besides that.
No, this is just a hypothetical situation.
Okay. Yeah, usually I'll ask for inspirations, right? Because every bride knows at least like the silhouette they want for their wedding, like a ball gown, like mermaid, or whichever design. So I'll ask for inspiration, and from the inspiration, I would kind of like get an idea of what kind of silhouette they're going for and what kind of fabrics they like. If it's like plain fabric, sparkly, or like lace, or transparent. So when they send me inspiration, I will give out the quote. And when the payment is made, if the quote works for them, then we'll like work on the design. If I'm getting the fabric, that's fine. Or you can bring your fabrics. But I also always prefer to bring my fabrics because like I know what works best. And sometimes the clients, like they might not find the, I guess, budget friendly options for the fabrics where I can, because I have connections with suppliers, right? So it's always best to have me source the fabric. But I'm open. Sometimes they have gifts from like loved ones and they want to like put that into their dress. So I always give that option. And then once that's sorted out, I'll invite them to take their measurements and invite them for a fitting, which would basically be like a mock-up design, not with the actual fabric, just to like kind of figure out if you're still okay with the design, or you still like you kind of see what it looks like and you like it, and and then we have 2 more fittings. And if you're in the city, perfect, because that way you can get the dress like perfectly done. If you're in the city, or if you can commute to the city, that's fine. But I have made some dresses remotely, and I'll just ask them for professional measurements, and I try to find models in the city that kind of have like similar body types, or I stuff my mannequin to match their shape. There's so many ways to go around it, and send the dress, and happy wedding day and happy married life. And thank you for choosing me.
Wow, that's good. That's good to know. That's good to know the process. But then it seems like you work a lot, right? So what does self-care look like for you, and what does self-development also look like for you?
Self-care, I need to hammer this into my head, is to hire people. Like, you can't do everything. There's so much to do. I need to manage my Instagram. I need to manage my website. I need to manage my books. I need to manage I have to be like, there's so much going on. Yeah, so self-care, I need to hire people to help me. But besides that, outside of work, I with my diet, I try to like have a very nutritious meal going on. Mostly like veggies and fruits, and then I work out. Something that has helped me a lot is meditation, because there's a lot of frustrating moments when you're sewing, and like when I sew, I just like take deep breaths, and it helps like calm me down. Like last night I was working, I had to like go out to just get some fresh air and like work out for a bit and then come back, right? So I take those things seriously every day, and sewing also like kind of like affects your back or like your arms or whatever. So I do a lot of yoga and like stretches. And then that's what else do I do for self-care? Yeah, and like if I see something I like, I'll just like pay for it and travel. Like, because we're working.
Retail therapy, you deserve that. That's okay. So what about self-development? Like, how do you make yourself better with the work that you're doing?
Okay, so I I sometimes sign up for like master classes for like I guess like couture designs, like advanced because I don't know everything, right? I only went to school for 2.5 years. Most of the knowledge I've acquired is from working, right? So once in a while I take online programs and watch like videos on YouTube, like teaching like designs that I can like open my mind to. And self-development also means like interacting with like people in my field as well, even if they're not necessarily sewing, like even like talking to like fabric store owners and seeing what they're doing and like kind of like get an idea of how it works in that field. Like always asking questions, honestly. I have mentors, like my mom's designer in Nigeria. She played a huge part in my development because when I went to fashion school, they only taught me how to design for, I guess, size 6, like European body type. And when I went to Nigeria, she taught me how to make dresses for like a black woman, like we're fuller and like sometimes our belly is not like as flat as like the mannequin. So like she taught me how to like get all the curves. So like asking questions and meeting people that have been in the field for longer than I have is very helpful for me. So yeah.
Okay, that's really nice. So we're now at the end of the interview. Where can people find out more about you and your work?
My work at zobamartin.com. If you need me to make you a dress or if you just want to ask about my prices, send me a message at zobamartin.com. I also have Instagram at Zoba Martin, ZOBAMARTIN. I'm just imagining he just like puts in ads and everything on the screen.
Oh my
Like
gosh.
I didn't have to spell it out.
That's okay.
And yeah, you can send me a DM. I feel like I'm very accessible.
All
I'm
right.
very accessible, yeah. So yeah.
Well, those are all the places that you can find Zoba Martin. If you're just
Yeah.
looking for a dress for a nice event, this is your plug. If you're an upcoming bride and you're looking for someone to design your dress, this is also your plug. So take advantage of
Yeah.
it. That's
Yes.
great.
And I always like to like bring my clients into the process. Like they're so into the process, like what kind of fabric you use and if they have any ideas. Sometimes you'd be surprised. People can actually sketch. Like they have the design in their head and they're like, I don't want to sketch because you laugh at me. I'm like, please sketch it. And
Yeah.
you see the sketch, I'm like, ooh. So yeah, you can be very involved in the creation of your dress as much as you want. And if you want to give me creative freedom, which I feel like I generally have when with my clients, that's up to you as well. Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for joining us on the Dice Work Nigerian today. This is definitely fun, and I can't wait for us to see it in person at some point.
I thought very opening, so
Let's do that. All right. Thank you all so much for watching. We'll talk soon. Bye.
hey.